Hello, welcome to the second video presentation of the MT5 Trend Trader Expert Advisor. An expert advisor by its name designed to trade with the trend using the MetaTrader 5 trading platform. Now, if you are still on MetaTrader 4, like I am, you might want to try the non-lag moving average expert advisor that you can find on our main website, RobotFX.ro. Or if you are on MetaTrader 5, this is what you are looking for, mt5.robotfx.ro. Go ahead and download if you want a demo version, and it's not limited in any way, only they can only trade on demo accounts, on trading demo accounts, demo trading accounts. But the functionality, sorry, is the same. So this is the second video. Again, the first video is this one. You might want to watch the first one first, or you sure want to watch the first one first, otherwise you might not know what I'm talking about. I have promised in the first video that in the second video, which is this, I will talk about the settings, and here they are. It might be a long video, so bear with me. Prepare something not to get bored, a coffee, a yo-yo, or I don't know what. Now, let's make it fast. The client email. It's if you're not a client, you shouldn't care about this. This is the email address of the clients, the one that we used to to send their purchases. So again, if you're a client, you already know. If you're not, ignore it. Trading days. The expert advisor has the possibility to enable or disable trading by days. Maybe you don't like to trade on Sundays. Maybe you think the next Wednesday will be high, or you know there will be high volatility news, and you want to disable it. Trading for Wednesday. Make sure after that you go back to enable it. If that's your choice, you can do it. So now there's also the option to enable and disable trading the non-farm payroll. It will be a Friday and a Thursday before. If you think the price will be too volatile, you don't want to risk it, just disable it. And also disable holidays. And we're talking about when we're talking about Forex, we basically mean Christmas and New Year holidays. And if you set this to true, that means that you will trade Christmas holidays. If you set it to false, that means you don't want to trade from the beginning of the holiday, 20th December. Change this date to whatever date you want. Maybe you want to disable it from the for the entire December. So you don't want to trade from this date until the end of the year. And if you disable trading by setting trade New Year's holidays to false, then the expert advisor will not trade from the beginning of the year until 10th of January in this scenario, basically for the first 10 days. You have also the option to trade only within trading sessions, and you have to enable them by setting to true enable trading sessions, and then choose the trading sessions that you are trading on. If you don't want to trade Tokyo session, set it to false. If you want to trade London session, set it to false. If you want to trade New York sessions or not, false, true or not. If you want to trade only the first 3 hours of the London session, then set the starting time and the finish time 3 hours later, like that. And you want to have the auto GMT offset set to true, and everything will be done automatically. But if you are testing this in the strategy tester, you have to set it to false and enter the difference right here in hours. It can be either positive or negative number. I'm not trading sessions. I'm not using the filter. I'm trading all sessions. So I don't care about this myself. You'll find the explanation about this on our website if you don't know how to set it. I mean, if you want to use the manual GMT. But again, you should probably use it only for the strategy tester, if you decide to use it. Now we have a trend and a signal settings and I have explained this in the first video. And the expert advisor uses this trend line to determine the trend, this big thick trend line, the wide one, and this signal line, the one that's closely to the follows the price closely. We have an with these settings at least, we have an up color which is white and a down color which is black. Up means uptrend, black means downtrend. And the same with the signal line. When it creates this swing, price goes down, it's black, price goes up, it's white. Talking about the trend and how the expert advisor determines it. One way is the trend line color. The second option is the trend line price position, and the third one is the trend line price position and color. And it's the fourth option if you don't want to use the trend at all. That means you set this to trend trader disable. That means the expert advisor will open buys and sells anytime the signal line, which is basically a modified moving average, a special moving average, will change its color from black into white. From black into white, it will open a buy, a long trade, and from white into black, to open a sell. Now, about the trend again. The trend line color means that the expert advisor will consider buying if the trend line is white color. So it would buy, or if there was any trading signal, of course. So it would focus on opening buys from here until here within these two parallel yellow nice bars, vertical ones. Or we have the expert advisor determine the trend by the price position regarding to this trend, and that means that the expert advisor will open buys only when the price sits above the trend line, and it will focus on selling when the price is below the trend line. And the third option, and that's my favorite, this is what I personally use, it's to determine the trend by the price position and the color. That means that the trend line must be white and the price above it to have an uptrend in this case. And something happens here. Let's consider this an uptrend. Basically means that the expert advisor will focus on buying from here until here. Here the price drops below the trend line and the expert advisor doesn't know what to do. Although the color is still white at some parts at least. And this is useful because the expert advisor sometimes creates, by using these settings, creates like a buffer, a no trade zone, and you might not want to trade that. For example, here the price is above the trend line, but the trend line is black. So if we zoom out, we can see that the trend just changed from downtrend to uptrend. Maybe you don't want to trade this this area because it's still a little too I don't know, not decided. Did it change the trend or not? Well, in the end, it did. It was a big move, so in the end, it triggered a price a trend change. But we can never know for sure. So that's why you can use that as a buffer zone. Don't trade at all. Now, all this, I mean, both of these, the trend line and the signal line, can be modified within the expert advisor settings. So let's say I'm using a trend length of 300, just like a moving average does. You can choose the price, close price, open price, side price, and also have a trend shift if you want to. And do mind that the expert advisor doesn't draw these trend lines on the chart, trend line or signal line. These are the indicators. The expert advisor uses the same indicator two times, one to draw the trend, to establish the trend, and one to establish the signal, to determine what the signal. I just attach it two times to reflect those settings, just to see and get a visual of how the expert advisor thinks. but you don't need to have them on the chart. If they bother you, you can just remove them. So, for example, I want to use a trend line of 300, close price, no shift. I will set this to 300, no shift, close price. The shift is called displace in the indicator settings. Here, for example, I have a trend line of 150 length. Also no shift. Maybe I want a shift. You see how it moved a little to the right. In this case, I will also alter the expert advisor settings. Now, the next option was a high-low zone. And what the high-low zone does is to filter, well, its main purpose is to filter unwanted trades, the trades that happen when the price moved maybe too much in the direction of the trading. So we have the high-low bars candles, and this is the same as the swing zone. We call it swing zone in the MetaTrader 4 version of this expert advisor. You will find if you have used this, and if you are using this, you will find many settings that are the same. I mean, most of them are the same, but we have changed the definition, their names to better reflect what they do, and to get a better understanding what they do just by reading the description. So this is the high-low zone. We chose in these settings. I have high-low bars or high-low candles of 48. That's only because I'm on the H1 chart and I want to see the highest highs and the highest low for the last 48 hours. And so the expert advisor draws these two parallel lines. One is the high level and one is the low level to help me spot and to see to better see the highest high and the lowest low that the price made during these 48 hours. And it also has, and this is its main thing, the price distance, which is in pips of 30 pips. That means that the expert advisor, let me give you an example right here. Here there was a downtrend. Here we had a downtrend. Where is that line? Somewhere here. Here was a downtrend, and the signal line changes color from white into black. So the expert advisor should have opened this trade. However, it didn't open it because when that happened, when the signal changed the color, the price at that point was not at least the 30 pips away from the low level of the high-low zone. So it was not even 30 pips away level from the low zone, from the low level. And you can set this to any value you want, by the way, any distance you want. If you set it to a higher level, then maybe the expert advisor will filter the trades better, but it will there will be less trades open. There will not be so many trades, and that's also the case with the buying trades. Only that when there's a buy signal, we consider the distance to be from the high level. So basically what we don't want to do in this scenario, because here now we are selling, we don't want the expert advisor to open a sell too close to the low level. We want the expert advisor to open a sell here, 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 I'm not sure, here, but not here, or this bottom right here. It's trading with the trend 101. We are riding this wave either down or up, right? So this is where the high-low zone confirmation, the high-low zone can do a very good way to filter unwanted trades. However, if you don't need it, or if you want more trades, if you don't care about this this filter, this confirmation, just set it to false. Set it to 0. Sorry, set the price distance to 0, and you can also set the show the high-low levels to false, and we will get rid of it completely. Just don't need it at all. Now, where are we? Okay, that much about the high-low zone. About the trading sessions, we can have the expert advisor to trade only long trades or short trades or both of them, or restrict trading, don't allow it to trade at all. Obviously, if you wanted to trade automatically, just plug it in, find a good settings, and let it do its job. You will have both of them. But if you think that in this case, for example, the trend will reverse and the price will go up again, well, in this case, you might want to restrict the expert advisor and to allow only long trades, because it might open a sell trade according to its settings, and then the price will continue up. It's a risk preference after all. Now, there is the option to use an automatic lot size if you set this to true. And automatic means that the expert advisor will set the lot size of the trade, of the next trade, not applied to hedging. Only trades open by trading signals. We're going to hedging a little later. So if you set this the automatic lot size to true, that means that the expert advisor will use this percentage of the free margin as a lot size for the next open trade. And by the way, 0.01 means 1%. If you don't want to use, if you want to use a fixed lot size, a fixed amount, 1 cent, then you will set the automatic lot size to false. And then the expert advisor will use this. Now we have the option to have a minimum profit, which by default it's set to by me, because this is how I like to trade. It's set to a very low value, sometimes even 0. I'm going to make it to 0. I'm going to set it to 0 for this explanation. I think it's more appropriate. Stop loss, take profit, these are self-explanatory. And the maximum orders, that is the maximum number of orders allowed to be open on the same chart at the same time. So if we have more than 7 orders with these settings 7, well, the expert advisor will not open the 8th order, regardless of whether there's a trading signal or hedging. So make sure you have a decent order here. Don't set it to a billion orders if you know your account can't handle it. Because sometimes when hedging, well, maybe the expert advisor will open more orders than your account can stand for. Those two are highly related, obviously, the lot size and the maximum orders. Now you have the option to open the next trade, excuse me, open the next trade that's a certain numbers of bar away from the previous trade. Basically, it means that if the expert advisor open a trade here, it will open the second trade only if 15 candles, 15 bars, only if there is a 15 bars distance between them. So better see here. For example, it will open this trade, maybe. Again, depend on the settings. Open this trade, it will change the color. The signal changes the color from black into white, but it will not open this one, which in this case it's a good thing because I will have 2 losing trades. It will have a good thing in this part of the chart. Anyhow, here we are using a signal that is 15, and it's a little too small for my preference. I'll set it to 20, so I will not have so many color changes, and the signal line will not change the color too often. It's a trading preference. Again, if you want more signal, you have the signal line to a lower value, maybe even 12, not 15. But that means more signals, but maybe not so good signals. Since we are talking about Forex, we will never know for sure. That's the bad things. Otherwise, we'll all be rich and famous. Now, the next option is break even. Break even is the same with the trailing stop. So basically, first of all, if the price goes in your favor 30 pips, that's when the expert advisor will draw the break even 30 pips away, which will be somewhere close to the opening price. And then if it will continue to go in your favor, I'm using you can also use a trailing step to trail the price of 1 pip, or I mean something small, so you will trail the price closely at 30 pips away, because this will remain the trailing stop. I'm usually using a high value, an unachievable value, because I'm hedging and I don't want to trail the price. I'm hedging a recovery zone most of the times. So even when hedging with the trend, I don't have a trailing step, but it's a trading preference again. So don't follow me, follow your profitable trading style. There's a break-even buffer, but it's used later, not now. Slippage is quite explanatory. What to do when the maximum orders is reached? When the maximum orders is reached, which is 7 in my settings, I can instruct the expert advisor to close all of them. However, I can also instruct the expert advisor to close all of them only if their profits is bigger or at least equal to the minimum profit. And here is where we start to make use of the minimum profit. So maybe if there's a negative profit, I don't want to close them. I will want to wait. Maybe the price will go in their favor or not. To be honest, I don't use this at all, but again, it's a trading style, and I don't use it because I'm hedging. That's why I don't want the expert advisor to close all trades as soon as the maximum number occurred, because that's where if you are hedging a recovery zone, they will close probably in a negative profit. But if you are not hedging, you are trading with just trading with the trend, placing stop losses and take profit, you can make good use of it. Again, if you know how. And then we have a special option dedicated to the minimum profit. What else do when the minimum profit is reached? One is to close all open trades, and this is very useful when you are hedging and you want to close a basket of opposite orders, let's say 2 buy orders and 2 sell orders. You want to close them as soon as their profits altogether reach 0 profit, to close at the profit break even. This is what I would choose to do because I want to close a trading basket and focus on the next signal, on the next basket. Again, it's up to you. You maybe want to close the losing trades and set a break even for the winners, which is so if you have let me demonstrate this on the chart better. I'm going to use the EA's buttons, and talking about these buttons, the difference between the MetaTrader 5 buttons and the EA's buttons is that the EA buy and sell buttons will also have the magic number, which is used for monitoring and hedging and trailing and so on, and monitoring the trades on the chart. So I'm using the EA's buttons, and I am hedging a recovery zone. That means if I open a sell here, or the expert advisor opened a sell, then it also placed a pending order at the opposite a certain distance that is, I think it's 50 pips. I'm jumping to hedging. I hope it's not too confusing. I'll go into detail about hedging later. So for example, because I was talking about that, if I open a sell here, but the price goes against me, then this sell will go into negative profit. It will be a loss. However, by placing and hedging this recovery zone, by placing an opposite pending order and the lot size of the pending order, which is higher, let's say double than the buy, than the sell, sorry. So the lot size of the buy is bigger than the sell. And if the price will continue to go up against the first order, then at some point the sum of these two orders, let's say £1 $1 sell a lot size and $2 lot size buying, their profits will soon reach zero. And if the price will further continue, then their profits will be a positive profit, because the profits from the buying order will be much bigger than the profits from the seller, or will be bigger anyway, because one value will be negative. But I think you got the point what I'm saying. So when that happens, at that point, the profits reach minimum profit, which for my settings here it's 0. Then you can instruct the expert advisor either close both of them. That's what I would do, because I want to get rid of them and focus on the next trading scenario. Or you might want to close only the sell order. This is the losing one. Close losing trades and set a break even for the buy. That would have happened somewhere here, let's say. So at this price level, you will close the sell, set a break even for the buy, and let the buy order run. And the break even for that buy will be this one, break even buffer. And usually you want to be small, but not too small, because the price you don't want that buy order to be closed right away the same time, right? But you want it to be a little bigger, but maybe not too big, because if the price will reverse, then you have lost this amount of pips. And of course, there's an option to do nothing. When minimum profit is reached, just do nothing. Go ahead. Maybe you want to close at take profit or whatever other signals. There are other signals or other ways, other criteria to close a trade. And one of them is the next option, close open trades when signal color changes. So obviously the expert advisor opens a buy. It's same chart, of course. Let's say the expert advisor opens a buy right here, because the signal color changed the color from black into white. You maybe want the expert advisor to close this order when the signal changes the color again from white into black. So you would have had this trade open, close, this trade open, close. Here, no, here would be a loss without proper hedging. Here maybe would be another trade open and close, something like that. Again, trade with the trend. Buy in dips, close the trade when the price starts to fall again, and sell at the top of the swing. And again, close the trade when the lowest, the trend changes. The small trend changes. Now, that's about this option. And there's also the option to, if you decide to change, to close an open trade when the signal color changes, you can also do it only if the profit of that trade, or the trades, if there's more than one, it's bigger than minimum profit. So maybe you want to lose some money, and that means that where was the other example? This one with a tighter signal line. Here, for example, the expert advisor will open this buy and it will close it here. If you had the close open trade when signal color changes, but don't care about the minimum profit. So it will open this trade and close it here, probably at a small loss, something like that, 10 pips or so. Or if you had it close open trades at when signal color changes, but only if the profit is bigger than the minimum profit, then the expert advisor will not have closed this trade and we have probably opened the next one, and then you would have had 1 and 2 good open trades, and they'll close later when the signal line will change the color again, and this time they will both close because both of them have a positive value, not a positive value, earnings bigger than the minimum profit. So that was about closing open trades when signal color changes. There's also the option to close opposite trades when opening a new trade. That is useful when the trend changes. And again, only close that opposite trades if the price is only if their profits, its or their profits, there are more, is bigger or at least equal to the minimum profit. And that's it. And every time the expert advisor will trigger any of these close actions, so not when the price will close by stop loss or take profit, the trade will close by stop loss or take profit, but only when the expert advisor will trigger a close determined by these criteria, these instructions. Then you can also install the expert advisor after EA close trades to either remove itself from the chart, maybe you want to take a break from that chart, or even close the MetaTrader, or just continue trading on the same chart. All options are on the table. You might need to play with these variations, enable, disable, one or the other in the tester, just to see. I'm sure you will have to do that, just to get a hang on how the expert advisor behaves in different scenarios. Also, further with the setting, there is the option to have the chart comments set to true or to false. This basically enables or disables what you see, the useful info on the chart right here about the expert advisor settings and the broker's limitation, like minimum lot, maximum lot, and so on, broker's name, account number, and the buy and the sell buttons. If you don't want this on the chart, set this to false. If you do want, leave it to true. There's the option to have alerts on the chart. Not only on the chart, pop-ups, push alerts, email, or all of them or none when certain actions happen, like opening of a trade, closing of a trade, and so on. Set a trade command, and I advise you leave it as it is. No, leave it as you said. If you don't like trend EA, enter whatever you enter there, and don't change it after the EA started trading. Leave it because the EA uses the command for to better monitor the trades, and it also uses the magic number. That should go without saying. But in case you don't know, if you are using the same expert advisor on the same chart, or similar charts, I mean USD and on another USD chart, then you will have to have different numbers for each of these charts. So the magic number is unique per expert advisor, per chart, per symbol, like that. And finally, my favorite part, the hedging. That might be a little harder to explain. We have two types of hedging and also the option to not to hedge at all. So if you don't want to hedge, do not. My favorite hedging thing is hedge a recovery zone, and it is set to 50 with these settings. I'm hedging using a lot size multiplier. I advise you use the multiplier if you hedge. Otherwise, the expert advisor will set a hedging lot size based on the stop loss and the recovery zone. And it might get confusing. So just use a multiplier for now. And there's also the option to force a hedge if a price gap occurs. For example, during the news or I don't know, during the weekend, you have an open trade, hedging enable, the price moves and maybe it didn't trigger a pending order, the hedging pending order, then the expert advisor will automatically open a hedging order at the price level at that moment. So that might not be the desired hedging level, but it could help to overcome the losses from a losing trade. Now, what hedging is basically what happens here. Here's a trade I have opened manually. I will close it now. Let's go to the other chart without without the swing zone. So let's say that the expert advisor opens a sell right here, hedging an automatic hedging the zone, hedging a recovery zone. That means that if you set the recovery zone to 50 pips away from the open order, the expert advisor will place an opposite pending order. And the lot size of the pending order will be higher than the lot size of the open order. I've explained this before. And this is it. If the price will go against us, in this scenario right here, then the expert advisor will, then the price will trigger this order. And once it will trigger this order, the expert advisor will place another opposite pending order, and opposite now will be sell. And it will place it at 50 pips, the recovery zone distance away from the last open order. That will be this buy right here. We have, if that's somehow confusing, we have a hedging, pure hedging expert advisor designed for MetaTrader 4. We will make it for MetaTrader 5 most likely, but this is basically how it works. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If the price bounces within this zone recovery levels, within zone recovery, the expert advisor will keep opening buys or keep placing pending buys and pending sells. And this is, by the way, when the maximum orders comes into place. You must have some limitations. At some point, you don't want to get stuck in a too long consolidation area where the price will keep, or the expert advisor will keep opening these hedging orders. Will not be too healthy for your equity. So have a limit, have a decent limit. Another option for the expert advisor to determine the trend, I'm stuck with the trend in my head, to hedge is to hedge with the trend. And that means that the expert advisor, if when hedging with the trend, I can get rid of this. All right. When hedging with the trend, the expert advisor will not place an opposite order at a fixed distance unless you have this. If hedging with the trend, hedge first trade in recovery zone. If this is set to true, all right, then the expert advisor will open only one hedging order, and after that it will hedge with the trend. But to better explain what hedging with the trend means, let's assume, come on, delete it. No time to wait. Let's assume that we don't have the expert advisor open that. Basically means that the expert advisor will not open opposite orders, will instead open I mean, will not place pending orders. Instead, it will open opposite orders, but it will trade normally with the trend. So in this scenario, but let's say the expert advisor opened this sell. There is no pending order placed. What will happen here is that either the price will go in our favor. So at some point, this order will be a positive profit and the price will go down. The expert advisor will trigger the break even, will maybe close this profitable order depending on my instructions right here. Either when the signal color will change, or maybe it will reach take profit, and so on. Now, that would be the good thing. The bad thing is if the trend will change, then the expert advisor will leave this order open and will trade with the new trend. So it will keep opening buys. Well, it will start opening, not keep. It will start opening buys or opening one buy as soon as we will have a trend line white color and the proper signal. And the signal for the buy order will match all the trend, the signal, the filters, any other filters that we have, like the high-low zone, and it will be basically that is trading, hedging with the trend. So it will be trading as normally, just this cell will remain open. And this is it. This is about hedging with the recovery zone and hedging with the trend. Now, if you are hedging or if you are trying to use this in a somehow related way, and you are from a US broker that doesn't allow hedging, one thing you can do is just set a stop loss lower than the recovery zone. If you are hedging a recovery zone, if you are hedging with the trend, I don't think anything can help you except a tight stop loss that will close that order, or the option to close opposite trades when opening a new trade. That will help you when trading with the trend. If you are with US brokers that don't allow hedging, again, have that enabled. And if you are hedging the recovery zone, have a stop loss that's smaller than the recovery zone. So what will happen basically is, by the way, when I click the buy and the sell buttons right here, there is no stop loss. But do mind that the expert advisor places the stop loss. Maybe I should change this as well. So if we have a sell order and the stop loss of this sell order is before the opposite hedging order, obviously it means that if the price will go will not go in your favor, this hedging order will trigger, but before that will trigger, the stop loss for the open order will be hit, so that when this hedging order will be triggered, there will be no other open order on the chart. So it will be kind of like hedging, right? But without having the losing order open and accumulate losses. So it's actually that's a feature that was asked before, regardless of the US brokers or not. People were asking what to do if I want to close the losing trade as soon as the expert advisor will open the hedging order. Well, this is what you do. You set the stop loss a little lower than the pending order. This is it. As simple as that, and it is possible in this version of the expert advisor. It will be possible in the MetaTrader 4 versions if we haven't done it already and I forgot about it somehow. Again, feel free to go browse our website and download whatever you want to download, and do mind that they can be used only on demo accounts. Now, going back to our expert advisor from MetaTrader 5, What else we haven't talked about? Force hedge if price gaps occur. Yes, I have explained it. All right, and the last thing is the martingale. That thing that everyone is scared about and no one wants to admit that it can be profitable if done properly. And one way to do it properly is simply use a decent lot size multiplier. Obviously, if you use 10, that's 10 times the lot size that you already lost. And if you are losing again, it can be quite depressing. And of course, limit the martingale. The martingale consecutive losing trades means exactly that. That the expert advisor will increase the lot size of the next trade if the previous trade was a loss, but only this certain amount of times. So only 3 times it will double the lot size. After that, it will resume to the lot size set by the set previously within the settings. Where was it? Where are the lot size settings? Right here. Either a fixed lot size or a percentage of the free margin. So I'll be honest with you, I usually martingale one time, not always though. I do check the charts, even though this is an all-in-one automatic trading solution. I do take the time once a day to check the chart. I think even every trader does that. None of us it's plugging this or that expert advisor in the beginning of the month and at the end of the month just opens the terminal to check their profits. Must be quite optimistic to do that. So I don't martingale all the time, but sometimes I do it and sometimes it's profitable. Actually, more than sometimes it's profitable. But for the sake of other traders, let's set it to false in this scenario. So this is it about the settings. I hope I have explained all the settings. I understand some of them might look confusing right here, and this, I'm afraid you will have to try them in the strategy tester. Try all those variations and see what they do. Again, we have given these definitions to reflect what they do. Go back to the video and rewatch that part that you haven't understood. Maybe there is something that you have skipped. Also, find them explained on our website. Right, also you can find them explained on our website if there's something that you haven't understood again. And if there's still something blur about it, or about anything, feel free to write us and ask us and use the contact box on our main site. These messages will go straight in our email. Don't don't write a comment on YouTube. We don't usually answer them, and there are so many that we don't approve because they are unrelated or strange questions that don't we don't have answer for. So if so far it was clear, and I hope it was, um, you can go ahead to our main site. Again, go to the download button, click the download button, and download this version or the latest version and try it on your MetaTrader 5 terminal. Try it on your demo account and see if you can make it, see if it matches your trading strategy. And if you decide to purchase it, just make sure you understood the settings that you are making use of it. Because, well, it's not exactly cheap to be honest, and it doesn't make sense to buy something that you will not use. That's the first thing. I do think you will make use of it if you are, at least if you are a trend trader, because it kind of has everything a trend trader has, needs, and more. So there's a very good way to determine the trend. There's a very good way to determine the signals and to filter those signals. There are very good ways to manage open trades and to close them at the right time and to trail the price and also to recover losses if that will happen. So basically it's an all-in-one trading solution. And with that, I will end this video and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the third video. I'll try to further explain the settings there and to give some trading scenarios um, based on the variations in the expert advisor settings. Until then, thank you for watching and bye bye.